Breaking news that has shocked fans across America: Rick Harrison's son, the heir to the Pawn Stars empire, has been sentenced to life behind bars. The famous pawnbroker who built a television dynasty now watches as his own flesh and blood faces decades in prison. What went wrong for this famous family? Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking details and exclusive information in this developing story. For over a decade, Rick Harrison and his family have dominated reality television. Their show Pawn Stars transformed a Las Vegas pawn shop into a tourist destination and made celebrities out of Rick, his father Richard "Old Man" Harrison, his son Corey "Big Hoss" Harrison, and family friend Austin "Chumley" Russell. But today we're covering the darkest chapter in the Harrison family history. Rick Harrison built more than just a TV show. He created a legacy. A self-made entrepreneur who turned a small pawn business into a multi-million-dollar empire. Fans connected with his straight-talking style and encyclopedic knowledge of history and collectibles. Rick has 3 sons: Corey, who appears regularly on the show, and Adam and Jake, who have kept more private lives away from the cameras. The Harrison family seem to represent the American dream: breathes hard work, family business, and incredible success. But behind the cameras and away from the spotlight, something went terribly wrong. Court documents reveal a pattern of behavior that shocked even veteran detectives. What started as a routine investigation quickly escalated as evidence mounted against the Harrison heir. While we cannot disclose all details due to ongoing legal matters, prosecutors built what they described as an airtight case. The charges included multiple serious felonies that the judge would later describe as showing a complete disregard for human dignity and the law. When news of the arrest first broke, many fans couldn't believe it. Social media exploded with theories and questions. Was this a mistake? A case of mistaken identity? Unfortunately, as evidence was presented in court, the reality became impossible to deny. The trial lasted 6 weeks. Prosecutors called over 24 witnesses, including several experts who presented forensic evidence linking Harrison to the crimes. The defense team, made up of some of Nevada's top attorneys, fought hard to create reasonable doubt. They questioned evidence handling procedures and witness credibility. At one point, they even suggested their client was being targeted because of his famous family name. "My client has lived his entire life in the shadow of a famous father," argued the defense attorney. This case has been contaminated by that fame, with investigators desperate to make headlines rather than find truth. The prosecutor responded with equal conviction. "The evidence speaks for itself. DNA doesn't lie. Surveillance footage doesn't lie. Financial records don't lie. The defendant's famous name didn't commit these crimes. He did." As the trial progressed, the mood in the courtroom grew increasingly somber. Family members who initially attended every day began appearing less frequently as the evidence mounted. After just 14 hours of deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict: guilty on all counts. The courtroom fell silent. Rick Harrison, who had maintained a stoic presence throughout the trial, finally showed emotion, lowering his head into his hands. 2 weeks later came the sentencing hearing. The prosecution pushed for the maximum penalty, citing the severity of the crimes and lack of remorse. The judge delivered harsh words before announcing the sentence: "In my 30 years on the bench, I have rarely seen crimes that demonstrate such calculated disregard for the law and for basic human decency. Society must be protected from individuals who would commit such acts." With those words, the judge delivered the sentence: life imprisonment with no possibility of parole for 25 years. The Harrison heir, once part of one of America's most recognized families, would now spend decades behind the walls of a maximum security prison. Rick Harrison issued only a brief statement following the sentencing: "This is a difficult time for our family. We respect the legal process and are focusing on supporting each other during this painful chapter." The famous pawn shop remained open, but employees noted the somber mood. Filming for the show was temporarily suspended. Corey Big Hoss Harrison declined all interview requests, but was spotted visiting his father's home frequently in the days following the sentencing. A family friend who wished to remain anonymous told us, "They're devastated, absolutely devastated. This family has always been tight-knit despite their fame. They're trying to process this privately, away from the cameras that have followed them for years." The public reaction was immediate and intense. Fans expressed shock, disbelief, and in some cases anger. The History Channel, home of Pawn Stars, released a carefully worded statement expressing concern for all involved while distancing themselves from the situation. "Our thoughts are with everyone affected by this tragic situation. We respect the privacy of the Harrison family during this difficult time." Tabloids had a field day, with headlines suggesting inside knowledge and publishing speculation about how this would affect the show's future. Celebrity news programs devoted segments to analyzing the case and what went wrong. Fans gathered outside the gold and silver pawn shop, many leaving messages of support. "We've watched them for years. They feel like family," said one longtime fan. "I just can't believe this happened. It's heartbreaking." Legal experts weigh in that this sentence is consistent with Nevada state law for crimes of this nature. The judge clearly found no mitigating circumstances that would warrant leniency, explained criminal attorney James Martinez. Currently incarcerated in a Nevada state facility, Harrison's legal team has already filed notice of appeal, though experts give it little chance of success. Appeals in cases with this much physical evidence rarely succeed unless there was a clear procedural error during the trial. Martinez continued, "From my review of the court proceedings, the judge was extremely careful to prevent any grounds for appeal. Statistics show that less than 8% of appeals in similar cases result in reduced sentences or new trials. For now, the prison system will be Harrison's home for at least the next 25 years before any possibility of parole can be considered." Questions remain about the future of Pawn Stars. While the show has focused primarily on Rick, Corey, and Chumlee, this family tragedy casts a long shadow over the program about historical artifacts and haggling. TV industry analyst Samantha Wright believes the show faces unprecedented challenges. Reality television thrives on authentic personalities and family dynamics. When something like this happens, it fundamentally changes how viewers relate to the people on screen. The History Channel has a difficult decision to make. For now, the gold and silver pawn shop remains open, with tourists still lining up to see the famous location. But employees report a noticeable change in atmosphere. "It's different now. There's this heaviness," said one employee who requested anonymity. "Rick still comes in, still talks to customers, but you can see the toll this has taken." Inside prison walls, Harrison begins the long adjustment to his new reality. Prison officials report he's been placed in protective custody due to his family's fame, isolated from the general population for his own safety. Visitors are strictly limited, with only immediate family granted access during designated hours. Former inmates of the facility describe a rigorous daily routine that will be Harrison's new normal. "It's a complete shock to the system," explained former inmate Michael Dawson, "especially for someone who's lived with privilege and fame. The loss of freedom, the loss of identity, it breaks many people during those first few months." The Harrison family saga reminds us that fame provides no immunity from tragedy or consequences. A family that invited America into their business now faces the darkest chapter far from cameras. For the victims of these crimes, justice has been served, but the ripple effects will continue for years to come. The Harrison family now joins the long list of celebrities who have experienced the painful fall from public adoration to private pain. The coming months will be critical for the Harrison family as they navigate this new reality. Sources close to Rick indicate he plans to continue the pawn business and eventually return to filming, though the show may take a different format moving forward. Rick is a survivor, said a longtime friend. He's been through tough times before, and always comes back stronger. But this is different. This is his son. As this story continues to develop, we'll bring you updates on the Harrison family, the future of Pawn Stars, and any developments and potential appeals. This case serves as a stark reminder that beneath the glossy veneer of reality television, real lives with real consequences are at stake. If you found this story compelling, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay updated on all our breaking news stories. We'll continue following this case and bring you exclusive details as they emerge. This is a family in crisis, a television empire at a crossroads, and a legal case that will be studied for years to come. From fame to infamy, the Harrison legacy has forever changed. Until next time, thanks for watching.